Zonjazi again.
Knowledge is power. Information is key. And that is why we aim to unlock the doors of opinion, unveiling the stories that need to be told. The Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. as we invoke the thought-provoking discussion, tackle the tough questions, challenge assumption, and give a voice to the unheard. This is the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Welcome on board the Morning Express.
Good morning.
Welcome to Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. It's a beautiful day. It's a pleasure to be here. We're glad you're here. Welcome to the station that prioritizes information, analysis, keeps you up to speed with events playing out within the community, gives you insight into all the things happening in the international community, and gives you an opportunity to converse with experts across different sectors of our nation. Information is power, and it is our responsibility to continue to arm you with as much information and knowledge that is required. Welcome to Trends in the Papers on Mainland FM every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, pretty much every day of the week, including on Saturday where we have our Indigenous Paper Review program. We make it our duty to tell you what the papers have reported, some of which are news stories, others are developing stories. It's important that as you are processed, situations change rather rapidly, and we try to give you as much information as possible on developing issues. Even if we don't do it on air, we take these stories to our social media platforms, which is why we advise that as much as you interact with us live, it's important that you also continue this followership on our social media platforms, because as information drop, we upload it on our platforms, we engage using the comment section, and that gives you an opportunity to also talk to other people who probably share your own beliefs, or those who have contrary opinions. You're able to talk it out there and reach some sort of consensus. So do well to follow us across all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. We are at Mainland 98.3 FM, except on our X platform where we're simply at Mainland FM. Do well to check out our website as well. It sort of helps you to familiarize yourself with the presenters, with the programming, with the schedule, and also if you have marketing opportunities for us, collaborations, there is a number attached to the website that you can call for immediate response. If you have inquiries or there are things that you'd like to know about the station and opportunities that are available for you, go to the website and you can talk to somebody on there. The website is www.mainlandfm.com. Don't forget, you can also listen to our programs from any part of the world on our website, also via Radio Garden. You can listen via our streaming platforms as well, Facebook and YouTube. My name is Sage Babalola. We once again welcome you. I know that sometimes people get overwhelmed when the stories are cumbersome, or when they're overwhelming, or when they're difficult to read, and so we alleviate that burden. We take that burden off of you. We read the stories on your behalf and simplify to give you the details as quickly as possible so that you're able to absorb the most important part of these conversations. Fuad Said, good morning. How are you doing today?
Yes, morning, Sage. I'm good. How are you doing?
I've been better. Thank you so much for asking.
Okay.
Yes, we have the papers, The Guardian, The Punch, and action of the 25 schoolgirls. The Guardian is reporting, "I'm depressed" by Tinubu on Wednesday, which was yesterday, said the abduction of the 25 schoolgirls in Kebbi State and the killing of the Brigadier General Musa Uba on a post via his official X platform. He says further, "As the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, I'm depressed with the tragic death of our soldiers. He was supposed to be on a trip out of the country to Johannesburg for the G20 summit, and he had other plans. His entire itinerary have been suspended at this time. VP, certain efforts are being made to ensure that these girls are returned back to their families unharmed." I would like to comment so that you can use this in your analysis. Now, the former minister said that he's willing to support the administration if asked. River State, and it can be done in the country. We're willing to help if you request help. As expected, the reaction has been, You're saying whatever security methodology that you must have applied in Lagos State as a former governor, that you would only offer this help if this administration asks you for help. Why are you not just with his prerogative, whatever the case may be? What are your analysis?
Amici story.
Yes.
Because that's just something that we need to get out of the way so that we can focus on more serious issues. And again, Rotimi Amici was minister for 8 years, right? Under Buhari.
Yeah.
What was the security situation under Buhari?
Wasn't anything good.
They say you good at these are politicians. They can be very funny. This is just someone who wants to play politics. And you know, again, the most ridiculous out of everyone or politician that has been a part of that coalition. You know, he was the one that first said, hey, new power is also hungry. And then people took him up to say, how can someone who has been actively involved in politics for almost 26 years, holding positions, studying for distractions like this, that of Rotimi Amici. Whatever statements they make will make the news because, again, you know, of the positions they've held before and what have you. But in reality, I think we should just take it like another distractions that will continue to come from our politicians who are saying. This is just clearly being political to say, oh, we know what you do if they are ready to tell us to help them. This whole problem got, and he was a minister for 8 years, and one of the most influential ministers under Buhari, if you ask me, the SH. If you're going to list 5 ministers that were very influential under Buhari, you're looking at me. So let's not get ourselves bothered with these people who just want to take opportunity. These are just merely political opportunity to be gathering and take advantage of the situation. It's not going to work. We have we are in tough times. Things are very difficult for the country as we speak. You can see that even the president says he's depressed. Because again, out there is still a situation where just some few days ago, we had them, and then you're having this kind of situation. And if you look at what we have, see, I'm sure in some of the reports, I've actually paid very serious attention to the accounts of residents of that Eruku community. We still need to get a full report of what actually happened, because the initial report from the police was that one person was killed, and I looked as if it was not from the church. You know, we said it that look, you know, this could not just have been people who had come to the church to kill one person and just you know, take their belongings. And they showed the church. That was a very big church. That's a very big Thanksgiving service for a same person who had been abducted, who had been released, who had recently been abducted. This happened again. See. And then if you look at it, I think there's a pattern. We have to be 3-4 days. A general killed, 25 students in February abducted, church worshippers, about 35 of them, 3 killed, 35 of them are everything I need to come and distract us here with their useless politics. And so we have to remain focused. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the list of the 25 put out information about the religion of the girls became necessary. The chairman of Danko was Sagu local government Christian enclave, and that's why I made the initial comment of the religion of the girls unfortunately became necessary. Riley Moore had said that the victims of the recent abduction in Kebbi State were Christians, and he says all 25 girls whose names are back and forth, girls have been abducted. What does it even matter what their religions are? But then it's been out there that all girls that were kidnapped are Muslims. Fuad, do you think we should keep giving light, bringing in religious sentiment? Does it in a way downplay the gravity of the actual situation here?
See, Sage, you and I know as people in this business, and that's why you must never leave any gap when it comes to information management, especially when you are in a crisis situation. Once you allow for this kind of gap, when it comes, for example, when it attends to
as many as
on a daily basis, you know, he sometimes he's working, they stop him, he attends to the media office, he's asking questions, he's answering questions. How often do you see our president, for example, talk to us about press secretary She does her daily briefings with the media too, on a daily basis. But you still see that the president, because the words of the president has more weight in situations like this than any representative of government. So it's not more media engagement than people in the entire government put together. And what does he say? He doesn't say anything really, other than just discussing politics and crisis and all of that. So again, this is to tell the press still having these kinds of gaps. Say, for example, in the United Nations recently, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, a Nicki Minaj was given the opportunity of any representation at that what's it called, platform, at least to come and to continue to push these kinds of narratives. So again, it is not to say that, well, you can see that girls have been abducted now, and we now have to continue to, whether we like it or not, in terms of information management, in terms of the things we are supposed to do and the things we've not done, we check which religion. There's the international dimension, and that goes into the comes to the issue of white supremacy, religious bigotry. There's a lot that we can't discuss this morning because we got into it. We now have to continue to defend ourselves because again, back home here we decided not to concentrate on governance. We put more effort. I think we just have to commend the president, but this has to be done consistently. Going forward, we have to take this fight, not fill the vacuum. We don't have ambassador, and be very intentional and methodical about what he's doing. The era of politics has to end. He can play politics with 2027, but when it comes to critical issues like this, it is time for the president to step up. I will say again that he needs to retain the idea of that he's going to concentrate on the job. Look, I was listening to the testimony, the what we call the story. Community attack a church, kill 3 persons, abduct 35 worshippers. In that place was I think there's a bar. The police stopped them from doing it, allegedly. You just leave them out like that. No response, no challenge.
My name is Sage Babalola, having conversations with Fuad Said as we flip through the pages of our dailies. We're currently analyzing the Guardian newspaper. Follow so that we can have more people join this very, very important conversation. We're going back to the papers now. Still, the federal government says. Now, the federal government on Wednesday stated that the recent pronouncement, by the United States President Donald Trump, exploiting international narratives to stage renewed attacks on soft targets, the same banditry, said it was initially driven by economic motive rather than religion, as many people had alluded. He says it's a fight for water, for land. The recent statements from Washington, the recent Christian genocide narrative, have further emboldened violent groups to continue or start renewed attacks, or at least is some sort of indices to the heightened or the renewed efforts of insecurity that we're seeing from these violent groups. Do you agree with him that situations like this?
What was the situation?
He actually said he believes that there was some sort of a reduction in the spate of violence that we saw. Yeah.
Do you know the state of the LGF in the last 1 year? Let me.
So Akume, I'm reading the report now. Akume insisted that insurgency had been significantly degraded before the latest wave of extremist factions. So
the WhatsApp killings, what was that? That insurgency had been degraded? Whatever you think is the problem with the rhetoric as being put out in Washington, again, you and I know that, look, the overcorrect, there's really no decorum in the way he puts out his own thinking. You understand? He's going to say the way he sees it. So we are dealing with, but that cannot be enough reason to begin to look for you to blame out it. That sounds very funny to me that, look, insurgency has been degraded. Where, before this statement for Donald Trump said, the governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, what has he been saying? Remember, he's been saying that, look, even before Donald Trump tweeted anything, before Alimon said anything, whatever Alimon is saying, that we gave them the opportunity, we created the platform, an opportunity for them to dig into it. They started reviewing the papers and taking the stories, and so it's a Alimon thing, it's a Washington problem now. So, you see, The reality is that we put ourselves up vulnerable to these things. First step to solving the mess, whether through communication, whether through action for your problem. Because so long you continue to blame other people for your problem, it means you are not even ready to solve the problem. I agree on that. And I've also said that we also have ourselves to blame by leaving that vacuum and show that we focus on securing the people. We've been playing politics. Instead of focusing on government that are looking for who to blame in Washington or anymore. They can continue to do what they are doing. That is also living in denial. The problem we face today in terms of insecurity, you understand, Boko Haram started based on religion. It was nothing economic about Boko Haram. So again, we need and get more serious about fixing the problem.
On the heightened insecurity that we've experienced, at least in the last couple weeks, the death of the Brigadier General, the abduction that we saw in Kebbi State, and also the attack in Kwara, be soft spot or hot spots. On Wednesday, they directed the closure of schools across Fᴜᴜ on Wednesday, and a circular was issued, obtained by the Punch, and strictly on instructions from the Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development after the government raised concerns over fresh security threats in Kwara State. Now, aside from that, a forward in that community, especially the one that was where the attack had happened, the Eruku community, a forward operating base will be established there. And by accounts of eyewitness, as you had mentioned, apparently abductions had happened before, where the violence has continued to escalate. So a forward operating base will be created.
Whatever needs to be like a center point for this attack. Kwara has been making the news consistently. Again, with the hope that the governor would also sit back in the state now to govern the people. It's one governor that the people are continuing to accuse. He become one of the Abuja governors. They keep finding him filming around the president. He's always in Abuja. That's what the people was assuring the people and all of that. Also, again, it's good that he had to go to the community and to be found. These operations took, almost an hour, and that look, there was nobody available in terms of security operations to assist them. That even the community wanted to give them a chase. I don't know. Allegedly, they said the police, the local government, can become soft targets for these criminals. Although I agree with shutting them down temporarily until normalcy is returned and there's enough security before, again, we shut down schools temporarily and siege. From the president to the last person in government today, whether in the ruling party or in the opposition, that general recommendation of defending themselves. I am open, and that's why it's very, very important that something has to quickly happen at the level of government and understanding and control of the situation. Nigerians on a daily basis are getting frustrated. I listened carefully to the Eruku people. It was not as one of the conversations they told the commissioner or the DPO that look, those people are carrying that you cannot use, but you can give it to the youth and you see whether we're able to defend ourselves. And the reality is this, Sage. And I keep saying in reality, the only problem is that they have AK-47. The youth of these communities don't have AK-47. And that's just the reality. The people that went to it is because they have access to AK-47, not because they only the youth of those communities. No. I don't want to talk about the balance of power between US and Russia. Do you think it will ever happen?
I don't believe so.
Sorry?
I don't believe so.
Do you know what?
He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Do you think, for example, there will be a direct military confrontation? The US can just go to Venezuela and bomb them. It's been bombing people on the Venezuelan water. Do you know what? There's no balance of power. So you think Israel that keeps bombing Lebanon, bombing, what happened? Yeah. Everybody mellowed down.
Sword, yeah.
Abduct them. It is because they know there's no balance of power. And that's why we are even getting to the point where our communities to come and kidnap and begin to kill them. If it gets to the point where people now have to begin to carry AK-47 and defend themselves, we are getting there. Not because they are better than or they way or anything. Situation where communities begin to arm themselves to defend themselves. We will not sit back and allow people to continue to kill us. That's what Nigerians are saying. When they call themselves Nigeria have to also begin to buy.
A few other stories before we wrap up the discourse for today on trends in the papers. The part of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, will today know is expected to rule on a series of applications filed by both Kanu and the federal government, including a request by the IPOB leader his fundamental right. He's facing 7 counterterrorism-related charges bordering on alleged incitement, running an unlawful group, and acts threatening national authorship. And so, since Kanu did not utilize the opportunity to conduct his defense, he cannot claim to have been denied his constitution, expected because of the reactions to tighten security in the southeast. So regardless, southeast.
Well, again, the Nigeria on the edge on this one. Again, I understand why they would love to be for security in the southeast, because whether you like it or not, anybody likes it or not, how is he able to do that? Well, it's done enough to explain the tragedy of his own representation, legal representation, the idea of him, and there was no basis for his prosecution and all of that. So he's very consistent in the way he's been defending himself. Nothing to answer to. Open your defenses, you start your legal team, and events on your case, and that is going to happen today. So we'll keep up.
Yes, Atiku Abubakar is. Hold on. Atiku tackles Tinubu over on your mandate rendition at Judges Conference. Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has condemned the playing of President Bola Tinubu's campaign anthem on your mandate and proof of what he called the administration's capture of state institutions. On Wednesday, he said he initially dismissed the clips, which aired on television. He thought it was fake until it was confirmed to be authentic. Now, he said he had waited for judges acknowledging the campaign anthem of "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand," while he's more or less
the judiciary. I'm trying to. I saw the press release by the body representing the judiciary that was at that conference sang that song.
Where was it played?
That was, they just played it, and you can see it on your mandate. No, I think from the video I've seen today, there's not enough evidence to show that any of the judges at that conference sang that song. Of the, I don't know, there's this explanation they gave to it as some of these things say. We complain about even the National Assembly. That this is taking politics too far. There should be some level of decorum. There should be some level of responsibility in the things we do. Whether you can sing the song, you can sing it, and even you can do all manner of things in singing the song. But there should be some level of decorum and responsibility in an institution that's supposed to be operated on the basis of checks and balances and separation of powers. Somebody be sent into the arena to begin to sing "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand." And Sage, go and check the history of dictators in the world. It starts with these little things. The insignia, the songs, they begin to take it over institutionally guaranteed processes and protocols. Has to be condemned outrightly. At that kind of forum, all that needed to be sang, the song was supposed to be a national anthem. Why did your mandate to attend meeting? That is how dictatorship starts. Go and read about it all over the world. And we think it's a joke because we want to play politics. So I agree with Atiku that we are gradually destroying our institution.
Before break, thank you so much for your insight on the matters. I will be back by 8:40 for Mainland Focus. It's Open Mic Thursday, so you get to decide the stories that are of most importance to you. I'll be here as your scribe to take note of the reports that you